An example of a working-class education in the 50s and 60s. Peggy Gunnell's my grandmother, born May 17, 1943. She comes from a working-class background. Her father always worked. Her mother worked during her high school years. They lived in a rural community. Family background. Her mother attended high school, dropped out in the 11th grade, and stayed at home with the children for the most part. When they were old enough to be by themselves, she started working, primarily in the mills. Her father completed high school and attended college right after, but dropped out. He worked at several places until he could attend college again, and eventually became a preacher, where he served in the ministry for 14 years. Living in the country and not in the town of Blackville itself, Peggy wasn't able to participate in a lot of extracurricular activities. This comes from both of her parents working and not having time to take her. This lack of time would lead to her development through natural growth, from observing her parents and interacting with her limited environment. Since her family was so busy, she gained a lot of her capital from Miss Ari Guess, who encouraged her to go to college and introduced Peggy to her friends and took her to social events, giving her social and cultural capital. Educational background. She thought that with school and hard work she could achieve and compete with students that were more affluent. She attended Blackville Hilda High School from 1956 to 1961. Blackville, a public school established in 1874, at the time was an all-white school. The teachers were businesslike, and they expected students to complete the tasks that they were assigned. They took normal classes, however females were inclined to take home ed. They had higher math and science classes available. Educational background continued. She attended Columbia College, an all-female school in Columbia founded in 1854. She first went straight after high school but dropped out to get married. When she did attend college in 1961, the students could not be seen wearing pants on campus. If you did have pants on, you had to wear a long coat to cover them. I thought this related to our discussions about femininity and the image of a lady. While working at DuPont, she was granted funds to go to college. She went back to Columbia College from 1989 to 95 to attain a bachelor's degree in business. Classmates interviewed. Joan McDonald and Florence Keatle. They took similar classes, but took lower level math and science. They also had French and typing. Looking at this curriculum and time period, it would have been affected by the STEM pushes from Cold War tensions. This is widely different from the Common Core focus and emphasis now. The school did not have an outreach or community program. They had adequate resources such as textbooks, they were well staffed, and had appropriate class and classroom size. Difference in male and female treatment. The coaches favored the ball players. They said that the teachers were professional, they took pride in their jobs, and offered help when needed. They said that Peggy was always focused in school and worked hard to achieve and be successful. Policy and social issues. We can assume that the school schedule and curriculum was geared towards mostly middle-class students, encouraging communication and reasoning skills, since the large portion of the school was middle class. Schools were still segregated. This would have created an environment of prejudice and stereotyping. I believe the best approach to integration would have been multiculturalism education, not colorblindness, because it creates questions about differences, not understanding. The civil rights movement was in full swing, starting from the education lawsuit Brown v. Board of Education, declaring segregated schools unequal and unconstitutional. The curriculum was still influenced by STEM pushing from Cold War educational policies, such as the National Defense Education Act of 1958. Career. Peggy is currently retired. She retired from DuPont. She was a member of the agent group. Even though she was a woman and a member of the working class, she was white and was the breadwinner of the household. Peggy believed that from education and hard work, anything was achievable in America.